than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door. It's the Richard Wilmore Show.
Mr. Richard Wilmore.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with Emily Fitzgerald. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I want to talk about your new book, A Valentine Christmas, right there on your screen.
Yeah, that's it.
That's your book. You want to tell everybody about it?
Well, let's see. It's a murder mystery centering on a female private detective named Annabelle Valentine, who I have written 2 plays about actually previously. So this is kind of like the 3rd installment in her story, only this is the first prose fiction non-play version. It's basically like, I think I've discovered all of my plays are about kind of the family that we make as opposed to the one that we're born into. So it's kind of a story about her family. They're under siege for the holidays from about Christmas Eve to January 1st. I think the whole thing takes place from 2020 into 2021. And we're basically seeing them and having cute domestic moments, food, dogs, Christmas tree decorations, things of that nature, along with mayhem. There's a lot of violence coming at them, and they're private detectives and former PIs and former MPs and a lot of prepared people, and then also some people who are considerably less prepared, trying to deal with what's happening and discover who it is behind it and why and how to make it stop.
When did you get into writing? When did you start writing? I mean, obviously, as a little kid you wrote, but like, when did that become like a thing that you needed to express yourself like that?
I wrote my first play. I was a playwright. This is my first fiction prose work. So I've written a number of plays. It was 2014, and it was 3 10-minute plays together. And then the following year, I wrote Creatures of the Night, which was an ATAC award winner. And that was the first introduction of Detective Valentine and the beginning of her saga. So really, this is just a continuation of pretty much where I started in 2016. I'm sorry, I lost volume from you again.
That's what happens when I'm muted. You'd think we'd figure that out by now in the virtual world to unmute yourself before you talk. But what's the difference between writing, like being a playwright, and then writing a book? Like, how does that differ as someone who doesn't know, because I've never done it? What's the difference between the two?
It's interesting because as a community theater playwright and director, because I've directed all of my own plays that have been produced, which is half a dozen maybe, I often get to write for people that I know. So actors that I'm used to working with, I kind of have them in my head. And also, when I write a play, I know I'm going to direct it. So I don't have to know everything. There's a job the actors have to do, that next level of discovering the character and expressing what they're thinking and finding the subtext and expressing the character. Whereas with prose, I have to play everybody. I have to know everybody's inner monologue, everybody's thoughts, everybody's feelings, everybody's reaction to what's happening. So it's a kind of an acting exercise. Given my background, it's kind of a, ooh, okay. Now I have to figure out all these different points of view as opposed to having 12 people play these different points of view, which is just more natural to me. So it was a challenge in that sense. At the same time, it's really freeing in that I can have dogs and cars and any location that I want in the whole world. Anything can happen, and I don't have to figure out how to make that gunshot in the play not too loud for the audience that I scare them, So things like that are remarkably exciting.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Like you kind of can, even in a play, you can go anywhere because you can build a set to make it look like anything, but really to just write it out, you have to be so much more descriptive, but you can literally go anywhere and be with anything. That's
right.
I never
I
thought
don't
of
have
that.
to, I can have as many sets as I want
Yeah,
because, hey, it's unlimited budget on that.
that's so true.
Yeah, and unlimited space and somebody's carpentry skills, and I can just go there.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
How come then that A Valentine Christmas became a book and not a play for you? Like how did that come about?
The pandemic,
Mm.
partially. I can't do a play. I'm not going to do a play. I'm far too concerned about the ongoing pandemic. So I needed to write. And in 2020, I did write a number of plays. And we read them over Zoom with friends of mine, and it was nice. It was kind of scratching that itch a bit, but it wasn't sustainable because I can't go in a theater. And I just kind of sat down on New Year's Eve last year, a year ago, and I was just bored and lonely, which is often what prompts me to write. I just kind of want to go hang out with my friend Annabelle and her buddies and go there. It's kind of an escapism for me in the writing to go elsewhere and do something exciting. And I just kind of thought it might be a cute little story for the people who have been in the plays, people who liked the plays, to kind of see them at home. And then it just kind of grew from there. So,
do you have to know the other plays in order to read this book, or is this kind of separate enough where you can?
No,
Cool.
It's kind of, if you like this, it's kind of interesting. And if you're the kind of person who enjoys reading a play, which not everybody enjoys that, but no, it's a very much standalone kind of story. It's a continuation for those of us who were in it and of it and knew it. But for anyone else can just pick this up and catch enough of the backstory.
Do you have, two questions. How do you think, as a theater professional, how do you think theater is going to change or in the future with the pandemic? Because I feel like it's changing very quickly. I mean, we just, here in San Antonio, Hamilton just got canceled for the rest of their run. And so how do you see theater changing? And do you see when if it comes back, do you think this book is going to turn into maybe a production?
I have a hard time imagining it vastly different if we can go back, if we can return to the space. I think we've all started experimenting with other media and other ways of expressing our stories, other ways of telling our stories. So somebody like me who's written a book instead, or doing performances that are multimedia or partially distanced, or more radio drama, more readings. I think maybe we're finding the value in those things that we wouldn't have if we hadn't been forced to look at it a different way and approach it in a completely different way. So I think we all want to go back to, 3-hour rehearsals 5 days a week and do the show and get applause and be in public. I mean, there's just something that never takes the place of that. But I think possibly we're going to carry in new skills we've learned through doing other things into that old art form of ours.
Yeah, because everyone has sort of turned into their own audio engineers and their own lighting directors because
Yes.
they've had to now.
Mhm.
Where can people get the book? And I want to put it up here one more time.
The book is available on Amazon. That's it.
How does it feel to, I mean, have to spend so much time writing a book and all the editing process that goes in that? It's a lot, obviously, like writing a play, but now you have this physical thing that anybody can pick up. You don't have to be in town to enjoy your stories. How does that feel?
Extraordinary. I have published plays of mine, and so that immediate thrill of, oh my gosh, I have an ISBN number, I have had before. But like I say, reading a play is not something a lot of people do for fun. It's it's a narrow window of people that are really into that. But it's short. It's a novella. It's really not even a full novel. It's only about 30,000 some odd words. It's a fast read. It's short. It's homey. There's a coziness to it, though I would not call it a cozy. A friend of mine called it cozy adjacent. It's a little too violent, and I used probably too many adult words for it to be fully a cozy. But there are dogs and blankets and throw pillows and happy talk conversations about Muppets and silliness, as well as dire circumstances.
Yeah.
So I hope that I have found that everybody so far that I've heard from who's read it really wants to see the sequel, which I'm working on, because they want to go back there just like I do. I've managed to communicate that same sense of, I just want to be there. I want to live with these people. I want to know them and hang out and have 𝗔 𝗩𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗏 with them.
Minus the violence.
Minus the violence. Violence is not me at all. But certainly the other aspects of it, I see elements of myself. Sure.
I love that. The book is called, it's right here, A Valentine Christmas. It's available on Amazon. Emily Fitzgerald is the author, and she's here. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you very much.
Of course, anytime. We will be right back after this, everyone.
Medical professionals are burning out at an alarming rate. Burnout can cause health workers to feel hopeless, trapped, helpless, worthless, depressed, sleepless, and tired. By joining the 𝗷 𝗩𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗏 program, medical staff receive a personalized email and video from a musician, an artist, or writer once a week that includes a message of thanks, an encouraging song, uplifting poem, or a simple art activity. After watching their gratitudegram, participants report feeling more hopeful, empowered, energized, and appreciated. If you are or know a healthcare worker that would like to receive free gratitudegrams, please visit 𝗷sneedart.org.
Welcome to San Antonio.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bogota, Colombia.
And how did you find out about West Side Story here in San Antonio? And tell me about that audition process.
So I saw it on playbill.com on the webpage back in Cartagena, Colombia, and I was intrigued. I love West Side Story. I saw that they were doing submissions on auditions, and I thought maybe it's time for me to go back to the States and do West Side Story again. And I submitted, and I got it.
Wow. Have you been to Texas before?
My best friend is from here.
Okay.
So this is my second time here in San Antonio.
You like it?
I love it. It's
Good.
great.
Do you have-
Texas, I like big sizes, so
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I know that the rehearsal schedule for this show is very rigorous.
Correct.
But do you have plans to like go out and do fun stuff if it hopefully warms up here a little bit?
For sure, yes. I want to go down to the river. Hopefully, maybe see a show. If there are shows playing, I have to look. Going to the movies, exploring the city. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So you said you've done West Side Story before?
I did in New Jersey. It's so interesting. I love the show. I'm very passionate about it.
Can you tell everybody, maybe, because I'm sure there are people watching who have never seen it, who have no idea what it's about. Can you tell everybody what the play is about?
So it's a remake of Romeo and Juliet, but it's very important because it's based on the rivalry that it's in between the Americans in New York and the Puerto Ricans that are moving to the city. So it's a conflict in between your heritage, trying to own what you think you own, and being and trying to be open to that diversity, that and cultural awareness that it's like sometimes not well valued. And people sometimes they feel like they don't want to be exposed to those things because it's new, and people sometimes are afraid of what's new. So it's very important, especially I think it's a show that's going to last a long time because it's 2022 and it still is very important to do it, and depending on the state of the country, but I feel like each year everyone gets to find their value with, as I was talking about, being open to cultural diversity.
Yeah, and it's March 11th through the 13th at Hangar 9 here in San Antonio. And you can get tickets at danrieproductions.com. How you've only been here for 2 days. Did you start rehearsal, or have you been able to sleep, or how's that going?
So yesterday we danced a lot.
Yeah.
We got to do some of the dance at the gym, which is great, and we danced for 6 to 7 hours. But I got to rest. The housing, it's beautiful. San Antonio weather is great. I like it. I like that chill thing.
You do?
I do. I'm enjoying it. I'm from the coast, the Caribbean in Colombia.
Okay.
So I'm also enjoying the cold weather now.
I grew up in northern Wisconsin, which is 30 below.
Oh.
Awful. So the fact that it gets like 50 degrees here, I'm like, no, I need it to be 110 at all times. And I just want to be sweating all the time. That's what I love.
You need to come to Colombia then.
Well, now I have a place to stay.
Yes,
so
for sure.
I will be there. Tell everybody about what your role is in West Side Story.
Perfect. So I am Indio. I am part of the Shark gang, and our Bernardo is our leader. And what we're trying to do basically is try to conquer New York and let the Americans know that we are here and that we deserve that place as well.
Mm-hmm. Have you been to the actual space yet?
No, I have not, but I heard wonders about it.
Would you know when you guys are going?
Not yet, but we are excited.
Yeah.
As they told us that it's a big, huge space, and like they have given us some previews of what they're trying to do with the lighting and the set, and it's something so new and spectacular, and the audience is going to be right there with us. So I think that it's very important for the audience, especially with this show, because it's very intimate. It's a hard to digest show because it's important, it's relevant. So having the audience with us next to us, it gives such a big impact, not only to them, but for us, because we know that they're right there with us. So they're going to totally feel like they're like fully immersed.
Because you're doing it like in the round, right?
Correct.
So you're in the middle of everyone.
Yes,
do you know how many people, how many seats they're going to have?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So please get your ticket because you're going to love it.
Have you been acting for a long time?
It's been 15 years.
Oh my gosh. You look like you're 15.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. What was your first thing you were in?
The first thing I was in, it's called Un Encuentro Mágico. It was by María Isabel Murillo. She is the pioneer of musical theater in Colombia, which only started 31 years ago.
Wow.
So usually when I'm in the States and let's say someone works at Wall Street and they start singing something from The Sound of Music, I'm like, wait, why are you singing that? Like, do you know the show? And they're like, yeah, like our fathers used to play it. So it feels great to be here in the States because of that as well. Because if I would sing The Sound of Music in Colombia, I would be like, what is that? So it's exciting that it gets more audience here than it does in Colombia. So because musical theater, it's so new.
Yeah. How did you fall in love with it?
My sister, she used to do plays with me when I was children, like when I was 5 years old. And it just felt like it was my space.
Mm.
So I continued doing that, but then it was with my cousins. I would like get to be the director. Then I did it in school. And there's something so magical about putting yourself on a side to let someone else get it inside of you and like spiritually, and using your body to communicate and tell a story that's so important, such as the message of West Side Story about, you know, friendship, being open, letting people come and get to experience your culture, being there for you, and knowing that we are a whole, we're humans, we need to be there for each other instead of against each other.
You've done West Side Story twice now. Do you have like a role that you would love to do at some point?
I would love to be Bernardo. Bernardo is the lead, and his dancing part is just amazing, and there's just so much potential on his role and what he has to offer and say about the whole experience of the show. So I need to get a little bit older to play that. So I'm waiting for it.
That's funny. Tell everybody why they should come see the show.
It's gonna be immersive, as I said. The choreography, the dancing, it's wonderful. Ernest, our choreographer, is doing a great job. I'm getting to listen to some of the vocals, and it's just tasty. So you really need to come see the show.
I'm very excited. It's March 11th through the 13th at a Hangar 9 in San Antonio. Right there on your screen is where you can get tickets. Jorge, thank you.
Thank you very
so
much
for coming on the show.
Thank you very
Break
much.
legs, and I'm very excited that y'all are in the same building that this show films in, so I get to sneak in and listen to everybody sing and watch y'all dance.
You can come and sing as well. So
you don't want that. I promise. This is what I'll do.
We need more sharks. We need more sharks.
You don't need that. It will drown. I promise. We'll be right back after this, everyone.
Hi, Wendy of The Right Fit. Let's talk about hair today. And if you find that you get a little bored with your hairstyle, you would be amazed how something as simple as getting an inch or two cut off the length, adding some long layers, changing up the color with some highlights or lowlights, anything that simple can make you feel like a brand new person and give you a big old self-esteem boost. So talk to your hairstylist. They are the expert, and they can help you come up with a great plan for a simple refresh. Thanks for listening and watching, everyone. You can reach me at wendy@therightfit.net or go to therightfit.net.
Wouldn't it be great if your business could have a commercial on TV? Now it can. Secure your Season 5 sponsorship by visiting 𝕊𝕚𝕕𝕖.com. Advertise on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV by sponsoring The Richard Wilmore Show. Become a sponsor today. Go to richardwilmore.com now.
It's the Richard Wilmore Show.